Hey there guys! I really apologize for this video in advance. There's a big mess behind me and I hope you can't see it, but if you can, I am sorry. Also, this video is a little weird because I am also sitting, not standing like normal, and that is because I forgot my tripod, and this is done with my phone, so it doesn't really work on the tripod anyway. This is the book Scavenger hunt. I saw a video about this and I was like, I want to try this. And so here we are. I have the shelf that's right here that you can't see, and the one over there that I'll be going through. So I'll be back and forth a lot throughout this video. So let's get started. Find an author's name or title with the letter Z in it. So this one, there was an obvious choice, but instead of The Book Thief, I went with Zodiac by Romina Russell, because right there, Z. Hey, way over there. So the next one is Find a Classic. So we're gonna try and find one, because I don't have very many. So this one is actually quite funny, because it's not even my book, but it was on my shelf, so I'm counting it. And that is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is actually my mom's book that I brought in here for another video back somewhere, and I have not returned it to her room yet, and so I'm using it. Alright, so this one I know is going to be tough, because I had a hard time with it when I tried it in the apartment. This one is Find a Book with a Key on it. This actually went a lot easier than I thought. Incarcerant, there is a key right there. So next, because I started walking away again, find something on your bookshelf that's not a book. Half of my bookshelves are things that aren't books. So for this one, I finally decided on the graduation tiger I got when I graduated from high school. My school's mascot was a tiger, and our guest speaker handed out tigers to all of us that had our names on the cap. And so this is my graduation tiger. Next is find the oldest book on your shelf. This one was pretty easy. I have a 1972 edition of Watership Down by Richard Adams. I went by oldest based on like the cover and said like the print instead of the actual book itself. So the next one is find a book with a girl on the cover. The one after that is find a book with a boy on the cover too, so I'm just going to do both of them at once. Okay, so for these, I have The Girl Who Could Fly as the girl, and The Fifth Wave for the boy. The Fifth Wave is because I have the movie edition cover, so the child right there, if it will focus, it might not focus, so there's a boy right there. And that's why I went with this one for the boy on the cover. And then this one, The Girl Who Could Fly, there's obviously the girl going to jump off the roof to fly. So the next one is find a book that has an animal in it. So for this one, I'm doing The Tale of Despero by Kate DeCamillo. This is about a mouse who wants to save the princess, so this is the one with the animal in it. And it has the animal on the cover too. Bonus! So the next question is find a book with a male protagonist. So for the male protagonist, I went with The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Stewart, because one of the 5 kids, I think, that is chosen is Rennie, and he is also the first narrator that you encounter in this book, and therefore, this is why I picked this book. After the male protagonist comes find a book with only words on it. I'm gonna have to cheat for this one. So this is why I am cheating. I am using an Arc of Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider as my book with only words on it. Find a book with illustrations in it. So for illustrations, I ended up going with Promises, Promises by Annie Bryant. This is the 5th book in the Beacon Street Girls series. I chose it because of the little illustrations like this. This is things that one of the characters does. And so there are things like this throughout the book that I counted as the illustrations. So while we're way over here, find a book with gold lettering. For this one, I went with The Sight by David Clement Daves. You can't really tell it's gold because of my lighting, but it's gold-ish, and it's also faded because it's old, so, you know. Find a diary, true or false? This one was probably the easiest I will ever have to pull off the shelves. On the bright side, I am now the girlfriend of a sex god. It is actually the second one. I meant to grab the first, but it works because it's still the same thing. So, this is by Louise Renison, and it follows Georgia through her diary. Find a book written by someone who has a common name, like Smith. So this is the one I went with, Noggin. I went with it because of John. John is a very common name, and that is why I picked this one for this question. Find a book that has a close-up of something on it. I literally did not have to cheat for the words one because I just found this, and it is literally just words. I am questioning myself at this moment. So for something close-up on it, I went with The Capture, which is the first Guardians of Ga'Hoole book, and it is a close-up of the owl's face, and therefore that is why I went with this one. The next one is find a book on your shelf that takes place in the earliest time period. So this one I went with The Two Princesses of Bamar because it is in a very medieval time period. This one is also going to be fun. It is find a hardcover book that does not have its dust jacket. I actually totally forgot about this series when I was thinking about this question. I overthunk it. I overthought it a lot because I was kind of panicky I wouldn't find anything, and so this is the Secrets of Dripping Fang series that is all this hardcover with no jacket. So the next one is find a teal or turquoise colored book. So for this one I went with Mockingjay because it is a kind of light blue turquoisey color, and I don't really have any that I haven't used that are really like, boom, this color blue, so that's why I went with this one. Next is find a book with stars on it. So this one I would have normally used Zodiac for. So for this one I normally would have used Zodiac for, but because I had already used it, I decided to go with Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk. You can see these stars in the background as they are flying past the moon, which you might not actually be able to see because I don't really know how well the lighting is at this point because I'm trying to use the natural light behind me as much as possible, and so at this point it could just be really, really terrible. Find a non-young adult book. This one could have also gone for like the classic, it is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I went with this one because it was the first one that I came to that I knew that was a non-young adult. Find the longest book you own, and I know right where that is. Ta-da! It is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. It is huge. I have not actually read it yet, but it is like over 900 pages. So this is easily the longest book I own. And on that note, the next one is find the shortest book you own. So this one was kind of, not hard, but I have shorter books because they're more children's books. And this one is kind of a children's book, but it was the one I had on these shelves. And that is Little Polar Bear by Hans de Beer. And it is only 60 pages long. And some of them in the middle are actually just pictures. So this is the shortest book that is on these two shelves. Find a book with multiple point of views. So for this one, I went with TTYL by Lauren Miracle. It is not really in point of views per se, but you do get the different perspectives. You do get the different perspectives from each of the people as they are texting, and therefore I selected this one for the multiple point of views. Find a shiny book. Dude. The light's already like really reflecting off of it. Dude. This one is very shiny just because it has a library issued cover. I got it from my school library. It was one they were getting rid of, and therefore it still has the very plastic cover over the dust jacket, so it makes it twice as shiny as it normally is. And the last one, can you believe it? Like, crazy. This has taken forever, by the way, so to finally be on this question is kind of a relief, and like, it's crazy. So for this one, I went with the Phantom Stallion Wild Horse Island, mostly because the flowers are mainly up here by the logo, but there is also some down here and also some on the back, and that is why I went with the flowers for this one. This is not why I went with the flowers for this one. This is why I went with this one for the flower. God, I can't talk. So that was the book Scavenger Hunt. It really takes forever, especially if you don't like have some kind of idea in mind of what you want to do. Like the key one, I had no idea what book I had that had a key. Now I was just pulling them all out, hoping to find one. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye!